What's up, everyone? Welcome to Go. I have an incredible, I have an incredible guest today. I have one of my favorite drummers in the world. You may know him from drumming for Stevie Wonder. Ever heard of him? You may know him from When I Discovered You, which was, actually, this isn't true. I was about to say a lie, live right at the beginning of the podcast. Man. I discovered you because we met at my house like the day you moved here. The week you moved here.
January.
You don't remember this?
No.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
January 2007 then.
Yes. You and Brandon Brown and Kyle came over to my house up Sunset Plaza and jammed with me at my old house.
Whoa.
You don't remember this?
I do.
Brandon remembers this 100%.
Wow.
Maybe because you were in the clouds even then.
No, I wasn't in the clouds then.
Oh, the clouds weren't there then.
Yeah, I discovered the clouds out here.
Okay, well.
In LA.
Everybody who grew up with me, you know, I have always been like, go. Let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm live here with Stanley Randolph. Cheers, Stanley.
Oh, yeah. Blueberry iced coffee.
Blueberry iced coffee. Cheers, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Right. My mug of choice today is the Mercedes Petronas Formula One mug. Stanley, if you'll notice the mug that I gave you today, what does it say?
It says, I like seeing you smile. Man.
I do, bro.
You know what's crazy? I have a quote that I say all the time to people, man. What do I say? See, that's the weed coming in right there. Everybody loves to see a smile, man.
Everybody loves to see a
smile.
smile.
And then up under, I say, smile, bitch.
Oh, I like that. Keeping it Stanley. Well, dude, you're one of my favorite drummers in the world. I also just love you as a human, but I'm just such a big fan. Ever since the day I saw you play, I was like, wow, you are different. And I feel like the Stanley that I saw back then was like shredding.
Oh, yeah.
You were shredding like crazy. When
Definitely.
you were, dude, I remember one day I was rehearsing at Center Staging, and I was in like Studio 6, and you were in Studio 7 with New Kids on the Block.
Yeah.
I felt horrible. I'm drumming with my group. I can hear you and doing all this shit. And I was like, oh no, he's killing the transitions. And I'm sitting here like, and I was just like, oh man, Stanley's next door. I could hear you ripping. And New Kids on the Block rehearsals. I was in there with Christina Perry, and I'm just playing Basic Pocket. And I felt so bad. You.
Why though?
I'm just kidding.
No, I was. That's what paid the bills.
No, I'm kidding. I actually didn't feel bad at all. What I wanted to do is, and I kept just stopping our rehearsals so I could listen through the wall because I was like, man, Stanley is killing it in there. That band was smashing. Yeah. Smashing. And this is before Stevie Wonder.
No, actually, no. Stevie came before New Kids. Definitely. It could have been Boyz II Men if it was that early.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe it was. I don't remember. Anyways, we're talking 12 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Could've
we're talking.
been.
So we're both in the clouds.
Cheers.
All right, Stanley. I have so many things I want to talk to you about. I was going to lead talking about Stevie Wonder, but we're going to get to that, so please be patient. But what we're going to talk about right now is the thing staring me in the face.
Yes.
You have a new hairdo.
You know, man, I've been working. Look, I got my pick comb right here. Got to make sure it's always evened out.
It looks great.
You know, something I've been working on. It's my alter ego.
I think you just combed the headphones, but that's okay.
My alter ego. This wig has a story, though.
Oh, so everyone that's listening to the pod, Stanley has a beautiful auburn wig on.
Yeah.
So please.
It matches my coffee cup.
Yeah, it does match the coffee cup.
For sure.
So, yeah, what is the story of this wig?
So, you know, I'm from Memphis, and I used to work with this highly known group, 3-6 Mafia. So I was working with Juicy J, and we was in the studio, and I think he only really knew me to play drums. So he would get me to do all the drum beats on the MPC. But one day I just started playing piano and everything, and I actually played a record. I used to, when I first got my first studio I was very experimental. So I was like singing and all that stuff in the booth because no one was around, so it was just me. And I ended up playing a record with me singing on it, and he loved it because it sounded like a sample. He was like, man, you the new Barry White, man. You should be Barry White. You should sit down at the piano and sing. And he's like, you're Stanley White.
Stanley White.
Stanley White, bro, is what he was calling me, man. So like, you know, just having fun and doing stuff that other people, I guess, wouldn't have the courage to do, like wear a wig. You know, so I put it on and I was like, you know what, man, this is gonna be my alter ego. I'm gonna call myself Stanley White.
Oh, I love it.
Stanley White. So when I put the wig on, that's who I am.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, Stanley White.
Stanley White. Stanley White, you know. Applause.
I love Stanley White. So what's the difference between Stanley White and Stanley Randolph?
I guess, you know, I'm the singing piano drummer guy when I'm Stanley White, you know. I do all of the goofy fun shit. I guess when I'm just, you know, without the wig, I'm just a regular funk guy that you know.
I can't call you regular, bro.
Ah!
The definition of regular is not a snare in between your legs with the snare off that you're playing like a timbali or something while you're playing your main snare to the left and you got your ride here. You're not regular, Stanley.
Man. That's all. Look, all those setups are for comfortability, so I can be comfortable, so I don't have to move my limbs everywhere.
You do look really comfortable when you play.
But that's what it's about, though.
Man.
That's what it's about for me. All those crazy setups I've had over the years is just, you know, people just be like, how you got so many cymbals? Especially when I first got Stevie.
Yeah.
I probably had like 12 cymbals on that kit. 12 to 13 cymbals. Man, it was a lot.
I remember
of
your
shit.
big setups.
A lot.
Yeah.
But it was for me to be comfortable, man, so I wouldn't have to, you know. But now that I'm older and a little more seasoned, you know, I don't need all that shit. So.
Okay, so the big question that I've never gotten to ask you, so I'm really excited. But how did you get the gig with Stevie Wonder?
You know, it's really a shout out to Teddy Campbell and Chris Johnson, both of those dudes, because they were the ones holding down that seat for some years before I came along. So it's really from them, man. I got a phone call and to show up to a studio. I thought it was for something else. I thought it was for like to listen to some music or possibly just do a session real quick. And I was just chilling in the lobby, and these double doors opened up, and Stevie Wonder walked through, and he was walking alone. He wasn't walking with anyone.
Really?
So people think he can see, but I know he can't see. I know. No, but I even at that moment thought, man, maybe this dude can see. Maybe this is all just like a gimmick. You know, all these years is he, you know, has people thinking that he can't see. But
did he have a walking stick?
No.
He was just walking alone?
Yeah, walking alone. But it's his studio as well. So
he just knows it inside out?
Yeah. You know, he knows it. But he also does that a lot. So that the sound of that making the noise bounces off the wall. So I guess he can tell where he is.
Wow.
But yeah. He walked through the door, surprised the shit out of me.
Yeah.
And he went to the back of his studio. I was just still chilling in the lobby. Chris was there. Chris came and got me, and we went to the back. We just jammed for like an hour or two, bro. And his studio.
Just you and him duo?
Yeah.
Really?
Just jam, bro.
So the first time, so you saw him walk into the studio, he went to the back. So then what? You walked into the studio and just sat at the drums. You say hi to him? Like, what do you?
Well, I walked into the studio. Chris introduced me to him. And, you know, like, man, so many people do this. Like, you know, when you greet somebody, you kind of just stick your hand out there. And you're thinking that he's going to grab it because he can, but it's like, no, he can't see. So I had to put my hand in his hand, you know.
Oh, you just went and grabbed his hand.
Yeah, I had to, so he can know I was there. But
yeah.
We basically, you know, he talked to me a little bit, and then he had so many kits to choose from, bro. His studio.
All set up?
Yeah. Set up and ready to go.
He drums too?
Yeah. You got keyboards, pianos, Rhodes, guitars, all this shit's hooked up and ready to go. Ready to be recorded. So I just got on one of the kits, which was an old Yamaha kit. It was that old gray pastel color. And they told me the heads haven't been changed since like late 70s.
No way.
The heads, perfect. It was old vintage Remo.
Wow.
You know, with the dirt on it and the tape
on it,
you know what I'm saying? It was,
you just sat on it and it was ready to go. Yeah.
And it sounded like the record, bro. It was the record, bro.
Which then made you play a certain way.
You know? For sure. I was like, wow, this is an old ass Ludwig snare. Just old shit, man.
So did you start playing a beat and then he jumped in, or was he already playing something?
Well, he was already sitting at the piano, man. So he told me to sit down, and I kind of just like tapped the drums to see what they sound like, and I was blown away. And then he started playing Giant Steps.
Wow.
Yep.
Really?
Yep. He started playing Giant Steps. We played that joint for a good 30 minutes.
No way.
Yep. Giant Steps. And I remember him having 2 big ass ride cymbals. One big 22 ride Crash Zildjian and a big 24-inch ride Sabian.
Is this like a normal like record tempo of Giant Steps, or is this a slower? Is this a funkier Giant Steps?
It was his vibe for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because even with him, man, he can take it in any tempo. Like with me being with him over the years, it's like we played it in any tempo.
Yeah.
You know, that was one of his. I think it was a challenge for him. From what like some of the guys who've been around him forever, they told me that he's always played that song like that's his thing. If you want to challenge him or, you know, saying be competitive, he's gonna play Giant Steps.
And he started with it.
Yes,
he started with the competition.
He started with that.
He wanted to see if you can hang on that
for sure,
because that's not your normal group.
It's not. And honestly, it was like kind of like one of my. Well, no, I take that back. When I was living in Memphis, we used to shed to Giant Steps.
Really?
Yep.
So you were like, "Oh, I'm so comfortable in this. I know exactly
shed to
what
Giant
to do."
Steps, bro. So like, there's even old videos on YouTube of me playing Giant Steps, you know, with the homies in the church.
Wow.
Definitely, bro. So we was doing that back then. So you know,
okay, so you played a 30-minute version of Giant Steps with Stevie Wonder as your first time. You and him a duo.
Yes.
Man, I wish I could be a fly on the wall for that. And then what?
And then he told me, he was like, you know what, man, you got great groove, you got the gig. Then that's it. He had his engineer to give me an iPod. I still have the iPod to this day with all of his songs on there. It had to be something like anywhere between 300 to 400 songs on there, bro. And he said, learn as much as you can. We go on tour in 2 weeks.
No way.
Yep.
And were you like, hell yeah?
Honestly, bro. And I know this is going to sound crazy, but I didn't grow up on Stevie Wonder, man.
Really?
No.
Even being from Memphis and everything?
No, I didn't.
Like
I knew the typical songs that everybody knows, like Superstition, Happy Birthday. I Just Called to Say I Love You. You know, I knew those records.
You knew the hits.
The hits.
Yeah.
But Brandon, my brother, he was a Stevie Wonder fanatic. So much to the point to where it used to get on my nerves. Every time I get in the car with him, he literally had this is back when they had CDs. So he had the CD book. It had every Stevie Wonder album that he's ever done, every single, all on CDs. So like, you know, he played a lot of Stevie Wonder's music. And what's crazy is he would play the stuff so much, I wasn't really like paying attention. Yeah. I knew it was great. It was great music, you know, but I wasn't paying attention. I was more I was heavily on Dave Weckl and Vinny and Steve Gadd and stuff like that.
You were deep in the fusion.
You know what I'm saying? I was
deep in the fusion. I remember
that,
yeah.
bro. So like I wasn't really listening to soul and funk and stuff
Yeah.
like. And even my mom, bro. Like my mom listened to Anita Baker and Toni Braxton and people like that. So we didn't have any Stevie Wonder music in the crib. So yeah, when I got the gig, I called Brandon ASAP and was like, bro, I just, you know, and people are gonna be like, you know, surprised, but I wasn't like blown away. I was just like, man, okay, I got all this music to learn.
You know I got to go to work.
I know this is a great gig to have, and like my brother would be shitting bricks right now if he knew what I was doing, you know. So, you know, I hit up Brandon ASAP and was like, bro, I need your help. Like, I just need you to walk me through. And I know you play this music all the time, and I should have been listening, paying attention, but I wasn't. But I need you to walk me through it right now.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like the whole vibe, and you know, I got the gig, so I need help learning this stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I remember I went on a tour, and I didn't know everything, but what's crazy is even on the DVD, a lot of those records we play, bro, once I really, really understood what seat I was in, and I went back to listen to the originals, luckily some of the patterns I played were, you know, 90% right.
Just by intuition?
By intuition, bro. And I really think it's from me sitting in the car with my brother and subconsciously taking that music in.
100%. All those years.
All those years, yeah. So, yeah, luckily, because on the DVD, that was probably like my first month there. Literally, we had just started the tour and went straight to London and recorded a DVD.
So you mean to tell me that when you played the first show and you play Superstition in front of the crowd with Stevie, that it didn't like hit you in the face?
Well, to be honest, not 100%.
Wow.
I was more nervous because he was actually the first biggest audience that I ever been in front of.
Right.
So I was more like, I don't want to fuck up.
I gotta get this.
Yeah, I can't, like, don't fuck up. Like, dude, you know what I'm saying? One thing that he told me too before we really kind of like really got the tour going because he knew I didn't know everything. He could tell. He knew I didn't know all the patterns the right way.
Yeah.
And I was kind of thrown in the fire. So,
Right.
you know, main thing he told me was like, yo, play this shit. If you play it wrong, play it loud and wrong.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying?
Nice.
Be confident. Play it loud and wrong. If you know what I'm saying, we'll get there. We'll rehearse eventually because there was no rehearsals.
No rehearsals.
No rehearsals.
You
bro.
went straight into the show.
Straight into the show.
Headlining set. What?
Yes.
90-minute or whatever.
Oh, 3 hours.
3 hour headline
3 hour
show. No rehearsal.
Yeah, because he has
Stevie Wonder, biggest crowd you've ever played in front
Yes,
of.
bro. My first show was in Atlanta, Georgia. Atlanta, Georgia, bro. Straight in, no rehearsals. He was just like, play it.
No
Just
click track.
No click. All live.
Yeah.
No click at all. Which is crazy too because, you know, you have such a huge stage with so many people that's dependent on you to be their timekeeper. So
Yeah, and a percussionist to
you
lock
know,
with.
Exactly, right.
Yeah.
And they're kind of close, but they're kind of not, you know, because the stage is so big and they have huge rigs. So, like, you know, Fausto's way over here and Myungo's way over there, you know what I'm saying? So
you did sound check.
Yeah.
And to get your ears right.
Yeah, I got my ears
check,
right, you know what I'm saying?
And that's it.
And he didn't go over any music in sound check because, you know, sound check for him is a writing session.
Oh, he likes going.
So imagine, you know, we have sound check, you know, it probably start at 4 p.m. We'll go from 4 to 7, like a 3-hour sound check. We'll have like an hour and a half break. And then the show is starting around 8:30.
And that sound check is you guys improvising?
Improvising, bro. He's writing new records right on the spot. Or he could have been in the car, you know, vibing to something or, you know, anything that he wrote in the studio. And he comes to sound check and he's going to start playing it. And he's going to start giving people parts. Play this part, play this, play this. He's going to write a song on the spot. I mean, we wrote a song. There's a song we performed on the DVD at the very, very, very end, the very last song, I think. He had just wrote that song that day. And we performed it on the DVD that night.
Wow, dude.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, man.
That's so cool. So do you realize that you have one of the greatest gigs in the world?
I do now.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm not going to lie. It took some years. Because even being a drummer, I wasn't one of those dudes that was like all crazy about endorsements and all of that stuff, you know. Like I played pearl drums growing up all my life. That's the only kid I've ever played. So when I got the pearl endorsement, I really didn't even know what I had then. You know, I was just like, yo, I need a kit for this. Stevie's going here. I need a kit for this. Stevie's going here. So, you know, I wasn't really into the business side of it. Like, yo, what I could do and how I could, you know, take advantage of, you know, my whole career as a drummer. So, yeah, I wasn't just like really, really blown away. I knew it was a blessing. Yeah. I knew it was, you know, it was greatness for me to be on the stage and in the room with these people, or even be in relationships with certain people. But I wasn't fully aware, you know. I was more in awe of just like, I was happy that we left Memphis, and moved to LA because I just knew at Memphis we hit a ceiling. We was doing all the gigs there, we was doing all the work there, and we just hit a ceiling. So we came to visit LA. And that was my first time really being in awe because literally the day we came to visit in LA it was in July of 2006. We came to visit LA, came here with a church. And we were staying in Santa Monica, yo. We was like, we want to find something to do. We went walking on the Third Promenade?
Yeah, 3rd Street.
3rd Street, yeah. So we went walking and there's this club. I can't remember the name of the club that's over there. Dang. But anyway, yeah. Walked into the club, yo, and freaking Victor Wooten, Jerry Brown, Ricky Lawson.
No way.
Like all these dudes are just chilling here in this club, yo, just playing like it's
on 3rd Street Promenade.
3rd Street
16
Promenade.
years ago.
Yeah.
Wow, I don't know what club that was.
Harvell's.
Oh, Harvell's.
Harvell's. It just came to me, bro. Harvell's.
Small spot,
bro.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So, you know,
no way.
And we were underage.
What?
We were underage, yo. We had some per diem money from the gig, and we slid our per diem money to the security guard. We was like, yo, we're not gonna drink. We heard
these cats play.
But we heard great music, and Brandon called it. Brandon was like, yo, that's Victor Wooten, bro. I can hear him. I know it. And we went to the joint, and dude wouldn't let us in. We gave him our per diem money.
Wasn't Brandon studying with Victor or something?
Yeah, he
then?
did. He did.
I remember when I met you guys.
He did.
It was like when the three of you ended up in my house that night on your first week in LA.
Yeah, yeah.
I remember being introduced to Brandon as like, oh yeah, he's learning from Victor Wooten.
Yeah, he was going to, Victor Wooten used to have those camps out in the woods. He would take all his students out there in the woods, and they would meditate and become one with the bass, one with the wood and the trees and the grass and all that shit. So,
man, so you were just like, okay. So, how long now have you had the Stevie Wonder gig? What year was that? If you came here in 2006.
7.
In 2007, you got Stevie.
2007 we moved here.
Oh, 2007 you came. Sorry, excuse me.
Probably like around 2009.
Like 2 years later.
Yeah.
Wow. Mm-hmm. You had Boyz II Men first?
Yeah. I got Boyz II Men like 3-4 months living here.
So that was your first big gig?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sick.
Yeah.
So
but they weren't doing like they weren't doing big audiences. And they were in Russia and Indonesia a lot. They weren't really in the States.
You're doing like clubs, theaters.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Casinos, stuff like that. Yeah. So
it
was that was a cool gig.
I mean, it's a legendary name.
Yeah.
And it probably taught you a lot, and you're on the road, and it's great for you to.
It did, but I fucked that gig up too.
Did you? How did you fuck up Boyz II Men?
Well, see, the thing with Boyz II Men, bro, we had this MD. His name was Rex Salas, bro.
Uh-huh.
And Rex Salas is in the Michael Jackson family. He's in the family. He's married to Reeby's niece or daughter, Reeby's daughter.
Okay.
And so we're rehearsing it, and Rex Salas, he was like pounding us in rehearsal, bro. We were like playing literally from 10 a.m. to 9 to 10 p.m. playing Boyz II Men music over and over and over and over. And I'll never forget, bro, we were in Miami, and I had some homies come to the show. And, Boyz II Men, at that time, they didn't like to hear the band that was performing with them.
Yeah.
They sung to a click track of a live show that they had did previously. So they have a click track of a live show playing in their ears, and we're supposedly playing live.
What?
So that was already just like mind blowing to me anyway. I was like, wow, that's weird.
Yeah.
So I'm playing, man, and in the middle of the show, I'm texting some of the homies because there's like a little 2-3 minute break in the show, and I'm texting the homies, and he was like, bro, it sounds cool, but what I'm hearing is not what I'm seeing you play.
Oh, wow.
So
that was actually making it to front of house.
Yes. So the whole time we were up there playing, bro, we're playing and playing our hearts out. Me and Brandon came with me. He was on that tour with me. We're playing our hearts out, and I was like, yo, I'm going to hit the kick drum and hit the toms. Let me know if you can hear them. And I hit, in the middle of the show, kind of, while there was quiet, I hit the kick drum and hit the tom to see if I can hear the resonance from the front of house speakers. And I didn't hear anything.
Oh, my God.
So I was like, yo, you got to be fucking kidding me. They got us up here miming.
And this is your first touring gig, your first big touring gig.
My first big. And
so you're like, is this normal? What's going on?
I didn't. I was offended, bro.
Yeah.
And I was. And
pissed they weren't off. Telling you.
They wasn't telling us.
That's
bro.
crazy.
I was pissed off because they really, really rehearsed us like hardcore.
Yeah.
So I was like, yo, like, why all those rehearsals? Why all those hours if we're not gonna even play for real? So in the middle of the show, when there's a drum solo, and people, I don't encourage anyone to do this. This is my mistake that I made, But in the drum solo, I stood up and just held my hands up in the live show. Yeah, I stood up.
There was the speakers. It's like
there's a whole drum solo happening, and I stood up and held my hands up. And then at the end of the show, I convinced Brandon. I'm like, bro, they're not hearing us anyway. So I convinced Brandon to get on drums, and I got on bass. And so
classic mime games.
Yeah, what I'm saying, I definitely wouldn't do it. If I had a second chance, I wouldn't do it again. Now I would just definitely, be like, shut the fuck up and get paid. But, at the time I was just like very, very passionate as a young drummer moving to LA, and I was like, yo, I want to play, man. I want to play. So like, why are we not being heard? So they fired me right on the spot.
Wow.
But then, what's crazy is I ended up getting New Kids tour.
Yeah.
And New Kids did a collaboration tour with Boyz II Men.
I remember that.
So, what I'm saying, we chopped it up. And everything became peaceful. Everything was cool. And then I actually really played their shit for real.
Because you were drumming for both acts on that tour.
Yeah, we were drumming for all the acts. They kept having these collaboration tours every year with all 90s, big artists. So,
yeah.
So when they came back that time, I really, got a chance to play their shit for real. And
that's cool.
It was a big difference.
Different MD?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. So you got the New Kids on the Block gig, which then ended up doing the 90s tour. And then it was like, okay, New Kids band does everybody.
Everybody, bro.
Which includes Boyz II Men, and then you're like, all right, cool.
But it was cool
This
because
is how I'll Make Love to You on the drums really goes.
Really goes, right. For real. But, it was cool because I got a chance to play with, like, all the hit boy bands, 98 Degrees, Backstreet Boys. There's a few others, but, all the boy bands, TLC, Boyz II Men, of course.
Yeah. So cool, man.
Yeah, it was cool.
And, okay, so then 2009, you got Stevie Wonder.
Yeah.
2009.
Yeah.
So now you guys have been working together for, 13 years now.
Yeah, 13 years for sure.
All right, yeah. So you guys have been going together for 13 years, 14 years. So what is your relationship like now with Stevie?
Oh, man, that's like, my uncle.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's how I see it, man. He hits me up, which is great. He has his legendary studio, Wonderland.
Yeah.
But he just bought this really, really dope studio in North Hollywood. And it's like 5 minutes away from my spot. So,
Sick.
like, he's been to my studio a few times. But now that he knows I'm literally right down the street, he hits me up to be like, yo, pull up,
Yeah.
and come in. Either I'm just hanging just to kick it, or, he might create some on the spot and we write, I get on drums, or I do some drum production, or, anything. Just,
Just collaborate. I mean,
Yeah.
you guys got over a decade together of.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Wow. He must love you, man.
Oh, man.
He must love you.
The feeling is mutual for sure.
That's so cool. So what's it like kicking it with Stevie in the studio? Like, what's the vibe? What are you
bro, it's fun, man. He's a jokester, bro. Jokester 24/7. He's the most chill, down to earth dude, that I've ever met.
Yeah.
So a lot of people, I know it's like kind of hard to, for people it's kind of hard for them to get to him, or, stuff like that. But for me, it's just normal. Like, Stevie is Steve.
Uncle Stevie.
Yeah.
You call him Steve.
Yeah, sometimes I do. I call
Yeah.
him just Steve. Like,
Yeah.
So it's normal to me. It's nothing like.
Yeah, at this point. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
You guys, I mean, that's a long bond.
Exactly, yeah.
You recognize the legend that he is. But, I mean, you guys have grown together so much at this point. Like, I have watched your style evolve.
Oh, yeah.
Your drumming style is completely different than 13 years ago.
Definitely, bro.
Stanley Randolph coming through, shedding like crazy,
Definitely,
bro. I remember
Definitely.
you used to blow my mind with your shedding, but now what's so cool, man, is you've developed this new sound that I'm sure is a part of it is you being around Stevie and in the atmosphere of Stevie, playing hundreds, if not thousands, of shows with him at this point. You doing duo jams with him. That mixed with your natural evolution and you just growing.
Yep.
But now you have such a distinct sound that is Stanley Randolph that like everybody loves, everybody loves, like, I don't know, just as a drummer, I'm such a fan of your sound and what you've created. And it's so cool and unique. And I remember back then when you were doing New Kids, I was already a fan of what you were doing then, which sounded like you. Mm-hmm. And then now you're doing something else that sounds like a completely different drummer. Yeah. But you've been doing it for so long now at this point. But like even like when we did VF Jams live together, all those things, I'm like, we've done the jams together.
Yep.
We've done a lot together. And every time I'm always so excited.
360.
Dude, the first one.
Yeah. The 360, bro.
Ladies and gentlemen, the very first jam at the house, at my old house, when we came up with the real concept of the jam that is what it is today, was with Stanley and Brandon Brown and the Brandon Brown Collective in my living room, in a circle, filmed in 360.
Yeah.
And that was so lit, man. And I remember you can see me on camera because this is on 360, everything's on camera, but you can find me and where I'm moving, and I'm standing right behind you when you guys play What You On and you do the fill. And What You On and everything. And you just see me behind you just like, yes! Like, I'm just like, right. Yeah. I remember just like, man, and that is why the jam is that way. It's just because me selfishly wanting to be like, I want to stand right behind Stanley.
Yeah, man.
Feel you play the drums.
Yeah,
watch you from an angle that an audience can't see. If I go see you play with any of the gigs you're on, you're far away. Or even if I'm side stage, backstage, it's still far. I was like, I get to be like,
right there.
Over your shoulder, holding your shoulders. Like, you're doing great, Stanley.
Right there.
And that was all that concept and everything really was generated from thinking of you guys and thinking what I wanted in that situation and what would be, for me, just the music fan, what would be my ideal situation. So, so much of that came from you being an inspiration.
That's what's up, G. That's what's up.
For real.
It was a great, because I remember when I first saw it actually on YouTube.
Yeah.
And the whole technology of like, you know, moving your phone and turning, you can just be right there anywhere in the room.
Yep.
The shit was epic.
You
I
know,
remember that.
people think we stopped filming them in 360 because I think it was just we were too far ahead.
Y'all, hey, definitely
way too
was.
early. We were too early.
It blew my mind. I have never seen anything like that on YouTube.
I think people think, the market thinks that there will be this VR 360 massive entertainment surge in the next couple of years, and Facebook's going all in on it. So when that does happen, that concert's ready to go, man.
You're already ready, bro. We're
already ready. I can't wait to re-release that.
Yeah, I remember that.
Dude, that's so cool. Okay, so now it's Uncle Stevie.
Yeah.
You guys are super tight. You've been together 13 years.
Yeah.
So you've learned so much from him musically, but like, what are some of the best, or what is the best lesson that you have learned from Stevie Wonder?
Well, like I said, the best lesson that I still to this day do is just like, you know, one thing I learned from Stevie, if you listen to his records, bro, his records are not perfect. Even though we listen to it and it's a masterpiece and it's art.
Yeah.
You know, if you're trying to be the perfect drummer, he wasn't the perfect drummer.
Right.
But it was all feel and soul and, you know what I'm saying? And of course, him being able not to really see and he has to guess what he's hitting.
Yeah.
There's a lot of flubs and stuff in there, you know?
Yeah.
So I understand when he told me, like, yo, if you're going to play it wrong, play it loud and wrong. You know what I'm saying? Because he's played it loud and wrong on albums for years.
And it's the perfect feel.
And it's the perfect feel.
Yeah.
It's all about, you know, it coming from the heart and from the soul and you know. So, I mean, like I said, that's still one of my biggest lessons I live by to this day. Plenty of times I've, you know, messed up. You know, like I probably didn't touch the drums for 2-3 weeks and then I get on and I'm a little rusty or whatever. But even in that, you know, listening back to me play or whatever, it's like, yo, it's still magic in that. You know what I'm saying? So I live by that whole rule.
If you're going to play it wrong, play it loud and wrong.
Yeah, because
you can put that into anything in life.
No one's going to know.
Yeah.
Only you know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Only you really know that what you were going for and you didn't make it there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's anybody else on the outside looking in, they're like, oh my God, that's amazing. Look what he just did. Oh. And, you know, plenty of times people said that to me like, yo, bro, you had an amazing show. And I'm like, bro, you just don't know.
Yeah.
I haven't touched a drumstick in like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm just now touching it right now. And I feel the rust coming off right now.
Of course.
You know, yeah. That's what I tell anybody, man. Just be confident and play that shit. Play it.
Wow. I love that. I love that so much, man. I'm thinking of all the different ways because it really shows what confidence does.
Of course.
And just owning something.
Owning it, bro.
Just owning it,
man. Yeah. For sure.
That's
definitely.
amazing. All right. So what's your favorite song to play live with Stevie?
You know what, bro? I like his B-sides. You know, we've played the hits so many shows that, you know, they're the hits. You know, I get it. But his B-side records, bro, like Ordinary Pain or Looking for Another Love, you know what I'm saying? Those type of records, Rocket Love, you know what I'm saying? Those are the records that that I love, the B-sides. Cause they really talk about I guess his life. Cause Stevie Wonder done been through a lot of relationships, you know, with, you know, different women and stuff like that. So like he talks about all of that, yo. Even to the point to where sometimes he don't even like to perform it live because it takes him back, and sometimes he don't want to go back to that vibe or that feeling, or you know.
He's very empathetic.
Yeah, you know, the guy will cry right there in the middle of the show at any point. You know what I'm saying?
Wow. He's
so he's exactly. He's very tapped in.
Yeah.
Like we just did a Christmas show, and he used to perform this song all the time, You and I, but we haven't done it in years. But he did it at the Christmas show that we just did last year, and like while he's playing, and he could barely sing because he just like, you know, started going back and thinking about who he wrote that song about. So it made him very emotional. You know, he's a very emotional guy when it comes to his music for sure. You know what I'm saying? So that's one thing I love about it. It's real.
Yeah.
It's not, you know, some shit just put together. It's some real shit.
You can tell when you see it live, even just as the concert goer, how he engages the entire stadium. Yeah. Which is so hard to do as a performer in general anyways.
Yeah.
How he gets them in with just the singing and the clapping and the everything that he does.
And the stories.
It's the listening. It's so funny because it's like he proves what you don't need eyes for.
Yeah.
And how the depth of his hearing, all the way from walking into a room and you're saying he like makes noises in order to hear like essentially
where he is. Yeah.
Where he is.
Exactly.
And then it's like a bat. It's so crazy.
It is like a bat, right?
Yeah. And then all the way to jamming with you and knowing like, you know, okay, and one time jamming with you, this is the feel and the sound and the feeling that I want you're in.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you continually, you know, I'm sure if you did bad on the first show or 10, you would have been gone. But obviously, you just went deeper and deeper into this is good.
Yeah.
All the way to the audience, controlling an audience. Everything he does is like all listening. So then I can only imagine being Stevie Wonder, writing these incredible hits, how big of a heart he has, how tapped in his mind is.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, playing You and I or playing these songs, the visuals that must happen in his mind.
Yeah. I wonder what he sees in his mind.
Right?
Though. I've always wondered that.
It must be so powerful that it can easily bring him right back into a situation where he's like, I can't even play that song anymore because I'm too there if I play it.
For sure.
That's insane. That's beautiful.
Yeah. I really do. That's something that's crazy you say that, because I have always wondered, like, you know, in our mind, we can see stuff, so we can have an imagination and it'll look like something, you know what I'm saying? But what does a human really look like to him in his mind? You know? Or what does a dog look like to him in his mind? I don't know. So, like, I've always wondered, like, man, what does he see, though? Because I'm sure he dreams, or I wonder if he dreams in black, you know? Is it really
just see black? There's no way you see black. Because even if you close your eyes for a while when you're awake, right? Like, let's say, even if you're smoking, or if you take mushrooms or a psychedelic or whatever, you close your eyes, you're seeing a world, right? Even if you just close your eyes for a while and you even see light, I don't know. I don't want.
Yeah, like a silhouette or something.
There's no way he only sees darkness.
I don't know. I wonder if his dreams are really just sound.
Yeah.
You know?
Or what if it's just because if you don't have that sense, do your other senses just become that much more enlightened, right? So that's why his hearing is crazier than ever. I bet you sensitivity, touch. Have you noticed, like, his touch?
Oh, bro, he loves this. He loves touching. That's his main thing. He's impressed by a person basically kind of by what they wear.
Because he feels like
because if you got something cool on your clothes, like rhinestones or rivets or anything like that, you know, that shit, you know, it impresses him, or it gets his attention. Yeah, because he can't see it, so he has to feel it.
For sure.
So,
What about smell?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Now he's the one with the most, you know, good smelling dudes. You can know when Stevie is in the building because you'll smell him. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I even try to do that myself. Like, you know, I asked a lot of people, like, you know, well, his stylist, I asked him, like, what does he wear? Because that shit, you'll smell it.
What does he wear?
Well, I know he likes the natural shit, like frankincense and myrrh and whatever he mixes with that. They wouldn't tell me everything. Yeah. But I do know, it's like, signature scent. You know, it's some signature stuff. You know,
that's a signature scent.
Definitely, but you can smell the guy when he walks in the room. Yeah, for sure.
By the way, you successfully have accomplished that because when you came over here today, I was still upstairs, but when I came down and I opened the door, I smelled Stanley. I don't know if it was White or Randolph. But I smelled one.
It was Randolph when I walked in.
Okay.
When I sat down, then I became White.
Yeah, you gotta have a different scent for White.
Hey, that's true.
Let's get it.
Hey, that's true.
Let's innovate. Let's build on this.
That's true.
We got to go deeper into Stanley White.
Hey, for sure, bro. Definitely. I definitely got to do something like that.
Round 2. Cheers.
Round 2. Cheers. Blueberry coffee.
Blueberry coffee, Stanley. Look into my eyes. I love seeing you smile.
Oh man, smile, bitch.
All right. So let's talk about I'm in the Clouds.
Yes.
I'm in the Clouds, if you haven't noticed behind the shot. So for all your fans, always noticing the hashtag I'm in the Clouds.
Yes, man.
So what is I'm in the Clouds?
It's me being high as fuck. Pretty much.
You know, I assumed that.
Yes.
But I didn't want to, judge.
Yeah, man. It's me being high. But, over the years, it has a bigger meaning. You know what I'm saying? I want to do things so great that I'm as high as a cloud, that I feel high in love, high in peace, high in success, all of that. When I first got into it, I don't even know, honestly, I really wish I could find the person that really gave me the idea, because somebody said it to me and I just ran with it, but I was stoned.
Yeah.
I was stoned, and they probably was like, "Yeah, man, you high as a cloud," and I just ran with it, bro. And it's just, I'm actually turning it into a whole different business thing now. I'm creating merch actually, and
I would wear that.
Yeah, you know what I'm
saying? I would totally wear that.
I'm actually creating it right now. I'm a month and a half in. I've been doing a bunch of different hoodies. I got a bunch of different mock-ups. So, that stuff is definitely coming out to Instagram, to all the platforms really soon. So it's gonna be some really dope shit, though.
Have you thought about doing your own strain?
Now there is a guy, that I'm currently working with right now. And he used to be we reunited game representation. Ooh, boy, I'm high right now. Yeah, my friend Gary at Game, we reunited and we're doing some more business ventures together. He has his own company called Graybeards, and they create some really good tree.
Oh, nice.
So
there's your partnership.
Yeah, we're collaborating.
I know Gary.
Yeah. We're collabing on getting a strain for the I'm in the Clouds brand.
Actually, big shouts to Gary because he DM'd me and
See?
said, "Get
That's my
Stanley
dude.
on your show."
That's my dude.
He's like,
bro.
"Get Stanley on your show." So shout
outs to Gary and
Gary.
Game for
Yeah.
sure. Game represent.
He sent me that, and I was like, "Oh yeah, good idea." And that was when I texted you, like, "Yo, what's up, bro?"
That is my guy, bro. He looks out for me all the time, bro.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so like we had a lot of great. He was the reason why I did the big show at NAMM, man. Like the big show we did back in, what was that, 2014, 2015, whatever. So
What show was that?
we did the whole big stage at NAMM where I brought a bunch of different people.
Oh, nice.
I had the whole Stevie Wonder band. I had half of Earth, Wind, and Fire band.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, we did a whole big.
He set that up, or he produced it, or
he was the
maybe
guy
he was
behind the
plug?
scenes putting it, putting it together for sure. So yeah, that's my dude. He helps me out with my whole drum career. We bounce ideas off each other and stuff like that. So yeah,
I like. Yeah, I'm in the Clouds is a great brand.
Yeah,
for sure.
So yeah, I'm in the process of finishing up merch. Even me and Gary, we recently 2 weeks ago just had some ideas for the merch and that I'm incorporating right now. So it's gonna be cool.
So marijuana plays a strong role in your life.
It does now.
Yeah,
it does now.
But what does weed do for you?
Let me tell you. First of all, let me tell you my first weed story.
Okay.
Because my first weed story wasn't here in LA. It was in Memphis.
Okay.
I remember we was at a party back home, man. We used to have these frat house. We were like our own fraternity. We had a frat house. We called it the Five. So literally, it was right by University of Memphis, the college. So people would literally come there before school, before class, after class. People would skip class and come to our crib. We had a whole, New Genesis, the band that I moved out here with, we had a whole crib. We had a few of them actually, and we would just party every day or whatever. So I wasn't really like a smoker or anything back then. I was more like drinking and everything. But a friend of mine gave me some weed. I tried it for the first time, and this is when I first started driving. Okay. So
good time.
First started driving, and sometime my responsibility was to pick my younger brother up from work. And I'm thinking I'm in the clear. I'm at the party. He already knew I was at the party and I wasn't going to be available that night. But for some reason, he was working, and he could not get a ride, or he couldn't get in touch with my mom. She was probably asleep, knocked out of the crib. So I had to go pick him up, bro. And I had just got high for the first time.
Oh, for the first time?
For the first time, bro. So I had to drive to his job, which was probably like on a normal day, 25 minutes away. But it took me like close to an hour to get there, bro. Once I picked him up, and I picked him up and I'm driving, and he's like, "Man, what's wrong with you, bro? What's wrong with you?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Bro, you're driving so slow." He was like, "The speed limit is 50." And I'm like, "What am I doing?" And I look and I'm doing like 20 miles per hour, bro. On the freaking street. I'm driving so slow. So I had to like pull over and let him drive to get me home, because I was like, "Bro, I just smoked weed. It's my first time like doing this, and I don't, know what's going on." Also, I remember, everybody has that whole first time smoking weed where they're sitting somewhere and you have a delay reaction. People are walking by, and you see them walking by, and it's like, the whole,
Yeah.
So I had that whole vibe too. But that was my first time, doing it, because I was kind of against it after that, because I was like, man, I don't want nothing that slow me down like that, But I moved to LA and got into the whole production thing, was in the studio working, and then I actually smoked some weed while I was creating and listened to some music, bro, and I heard shit that I had never heard before. I had been listening to certain records for years and years and years and thought I knew everything about the song. I got high, and it opened up a whole new gate, whole new world for me. So, yeah, from then I just, it was steps, because, being in the studio and getting high and making something is a safe space. To get high before you perform or whatever is a whole nother thing, So it was steps to it for me. But, eventually I got to the point to where I could have a little bit of marijuana before I perform, and it would definitely calm me down and definitely make me super creative while I'm on the stage, to the point to where I wouldn't be like so stuck in the box. It was more like, man, I can be in the box and open the box and color it and, you know, add myself into the box as well, you know.
For sure. And just be more present.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Definitely. Like, it helped me remember parts quicker and had me like organizing, like, oh, this is A, this is B, this is C, this is A1, B1, B2, you know, C3, whatever. It's like organizing the whole record. I was remembering records like that. So yeah, ever since then, I've just been on the whole wave of, you know, smoking marijuana.
I feel like if you're making your living off drums and producing, and you're in the studio life or you're on the tour life, it goes.
Yeah,
It's a nice friend.
Definitely.
Better than alcohol.
It's a good conversation starter, you know.
Oh yeah, better than alcohol.
Oh, definitely.
Oh Lord.
Way better than alcohol. Way better.
Keeping you safe.
Yeah, keeps you mellow, keeps you chill, man. Alcohol, you know, gets people outside of their skin a little bit too much. Too much. A
little bit too much. Instead of making you just present.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's the opposite, actually.
Especially anytime you can drink alcohol and then you wake up the next day and don't remember what happened.
Yeah.
Because I've had a few of those nights too.
That's not a vibe.
Not a vibe, bro.
Not a vibe.
Not a vibe at all.
What's the point of not remembering something? Why'd you do it?
People, I'd have met people who be like, yo, you don't remember me? We kicked it the whole night. I was like, yo, was I drinking? He was like, yeah, we was taking shots. I was like, yo, I don't remember you or that night.
Yeah. You were probably drinking the night that you came to my house.
Probably so, bro.
The first night we met.
Because I was a drinker then.
Bro, you don't remember that? Okay, let me paint the picture.
Man.
So it's 2007.
Yeah.
Okay, so 2007, I was living in this crazy mansion up Sunset Plaza in the Hollywood Hills.
Yeah.
That my buddy owned. And then he had like 5 of his favorite people each take a bedroom. So I was lucky enough to be like selected to live like I was balling. Yeah. But I had no money. I was drumming, you know, trying to make a living, I was on the hustle. Mm-hmm. I was 22.
Wow.
I was 22, maybe 23 around that time. Anyways, and I was, of course, throwing jam sessions at the house because I've been throwing jams forever.
Yeah.
Go figure. That years, 10 years later, I would start Jam Card or whatever.
Of course.
So, and I was throwing a jam that night, and I wish I remember. Oh, dude, I know who brought you over to my house.
Who's that?
Streeter.
Oh, that totally makes sense.
I made friends with, big shouts to Streeter.
That makes sense.
I made friends with him. This is, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
I don't remember how him and I made friends, but so him and I made friends. Amazing drummer, if you don't know Charles Streeter.
Yes.
And he was like, yo, my friends are in town from Memphis. Can I bring them? I was like, 100%. So the 3 of you walk in, and it was on it was a 3-story house.
Okay.
I had 2 recording studios in the house. We had an elevator. We had a pool and jacuzzi on the roof.
Whoa.
Crazy Hollywood Hills house.
Man.
And you guys walked in, and so the studio that we were jamming in was on the 2nd floor, all the way to the right down the hallway. At the time, I had a project called the Devil's Orchestra that I was like writing. I was really into metal. I was like, I was like deep into that phase.
Yeah.
Super. I was playing all progressive.
Wow.
I was shred back then. It was all about the shred.
Yeah.
Double kick pedal.
Yeah.
Right. And then and I had like a jam set up in there, but the drums were V drums because it was like Hollywood Hills, and it was like 10 p.m., 11 p.m. I was like, we can't do a real kit. So anyway, so like I jammed it first because I was jamming when you guys walked in, I believe, and then I ended up jamming with Brandon and Kyle jumped on with me, and then you were chilling. And I remember thinking like, these are 2 of the best musicians I've ever played with.
Wow.
And at the same time, Brandon's got that smile.
Yeah.
Like everyone, I was just like, the vibe, it was like, I was just like, oh, these are my people. And then you jumped on my kit, and I was just like, oh shit, thank God I played first. and and that was the night I met you guys, man. 2007. You're weak here. Ask Brandon about it.
I'm gonna ask him about it.
Brandon
man.
Brown remembers it 100% because I was literally like the first call me an outsider to someone you already knew or whatever. I was like one of the first outsiders you guys met. And Brandon and I broke down in that moment. And Streeter was like my boy back then. He was like introducing me to a lot of people that that I hadn't met before. I remember he brought, because I was doing this weekly art and music event in Hollywood at the time. Streeter would come and bring like Tony Royster, like these kind of, and he introduced me to a lot of people when I was like, I was like 22, 23.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So anyways, that was the first day we met.
Definitely was Streeter, because Streeter was taking us to a lot of parties when we moved there.
But you and I weren't close. You and I didn't really make friends until the Jam Jam and Brandon Brown Collective and the BBC and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like Brandon and I like really hit it off that night and just hung more, and him and I stayed friends and we're always like talking.
Yeah.
And it may have been because also you were gone. Your career, you went.
Yeah.
So I would see you around. Like New Kids on the Block, I'd be at center staging next door to you or whatever. But like, yeah, we never got our like time to like bro down more until like years later.
Man, that's crazy.
But yeah, that's how we first met, man.
That's crazy, bro. I do not remember that.
Yeah, you were probably drinking.
I probably definitely was drinking because I was married at that time.
Oh, you were?
Yeah, bro.
You were married?
I moved to LA married.
Really? What were you, 21 when you moved here?
No, bro. We might be the same age because I was 22 or 23.
I'm 38.
I'm 39.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I'm turning 39 later. But
yeah.
I
I was 23 when I moved here.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay,
bro.
so I was 22 then at that. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeesh.
And
Yeah.
you were married.
I was married, bro.
How long did that last?
Ooh, that only lasted. I'm not gonna lie. I got married in December of 2006
In Memphis.
in Memphis.
Yeah.
And I remember coming here in January, bro, and literally at the top of February, I called my mom and I was like, "Yo, I made a mistake."
2 months later.
2 months later, bro.
Oh
And she was, my mom's a heavy Christian and everything, and she
Yeah.
believes in everything that the Bible says. So she's like, you married her, you got to stick it out, you got to make it work. And I did that for like 2 years, and then I was just like, nah, I can't do this.
Did she come to LA with you?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't remember meeting her.
I definitely would have did it a different way, you know what I'm saying? Because me and her were great friends now, and we were great friends back then. That's why we went for the whole marriage thing. But
Yeah.
I would have did it different. I would have came out here by myself first,
Yeah.
made some foundation, established some stuff, and then probably brought her out, and it would have been better. But getting married in December and then moving to LA in January,
Life change.
where you're with your band members, it's 5 band members, and another band member got married too. So there was 2 wives, so 7 of us all in one hotel room, bro.
Wow.
Are
you kidding me?
For months, bro. For months.
You guys lived in a single hotel room?
We lived in the Best Western off Sepulveda.
No way.
Yeah, bro. In Sherman Oaks.
7 of you.
7 of us, bro. When we first moved here. And then we finally, one of the guys sold his house back in Memphis, one of the band members. He sold his house back in Memphis, and I think he got something like in between 50 or 70 grand for his crib. And he ended up getting us this 2-bedroom furnished apartments. I think they used to be called the Woodside or something. I don't know. It was some spot over there.
Oakwoods.
Oakwoods.
I used to live in Oakwoods too.
Yes, bro. So we ended up getting an apartment over there.
Yeah.
It's stupid expensive.
Stupid expensive because it's furnished. I lived in Oakwoods when I was like 18, and I moved to Hollywood from I was in LA.
Stupid expensive. So like we lived there for like 6 months or so.
Yeah.
And then from there, everybody was kind of able to get their bearings and start getting their own cribs and stuff like that. But getting married and doing that shit, you know what I'm saying? No honeymoon, no privacy. You know what I'm saying? Like
I cannot imagine.
It was just.
Did you know when you were getting married that you were going to move 2 months later?
Yeah, honestly, I did it, bro, because when I came here to visit,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying, women used to be like a serious distraction for me. So
sure.
like when I came here just to see all the women and all the stuff that was here, I was like, you know what? I got a girl back home. I want to come to LA and be focused.
Yeah.
I don't want to get distracted by pussy and shit like that. So,
right. Let me lock it down. And
So,
didn't work.
And we because we were friends, we were friends for years. We went to the same high school and all that. So I thought it was a good decision, but moving here, man. And she was popping back home in Memphis. She was a stylist, hairstylist. Yeah. She had plenty of clientele. So I didn't even take into account that, like, I'm taking you away from your clientele, from your people that come to you every week. So you're able to make $1,500 and $2,000 a week back home in Memphis, which is crazy.
With a ton of money.
So, moving to LA and taking you away from that, and then she had nothing to do. She was trying to get work here, get work there, and it just wasn't working out. So she would be at the crib just chilling while I'm out, gone on tour. Because when I got here, like 4 months in, I was gone.
Yeah.
So she was just here in LA with no family, no friends, and you know what I'm saying? So it was just like, I understand it now, but back then when I was young, I was like, what the fuck?
Right.
You need to be hustling like I'm hustling, you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
But she already had that back home, so she didn't, took years to build it up. So to put that type of pressure on somebody, to think like how I think, or move like how I move, it was just frustrating.
So when you got the Stevie gig, were you with her or were you
I was
divorced?
with her, but I was gone when I got Stevie, bro. My first tour with Stevie was 6 months.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's
and
half
it was
the
a
year.
couple weeks later.
You know what I'm saying? It was 2 weeks later.
Yeah, yeah.
And then boom, I'm gone for 6 months.
Yeah.
You know?
And then divorced?
Yeah, I ended up getting divorced when I came back from tour.
Yeah, yeah. The relationship was probably
Yeah, because it was just like, you know, we was arguing all the time. It was so easy for me to ignore her too, because I'm out the country, and I'm like, I don't even have to talk to you or answer your call. I'm not gonna argue with you.
Right, yeah.
So
I don't feel like it.
Yeah, it was just all messed up. But you know, we got divorced, and then a few years later, man, we actually became back being cool friends. So,
amazing.
Like she's a great friend, and that's what it is. So
great.
You know, we experienced it, and you know, maybe I'll get remarried later. I don't know. We'll see. Who knows?
Well, there it is.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your producing. So you've been producing a lot.
No, yeah, this is my favorite thing right now.
It's your favorite thing.
It's my favorite thing. And what's crazy is I've always been producing. Like when I first moved to LA, this guy, he was a huge tax attorney. He got this building in Sunland, California, as a write-off. You know what I'm saying? He was friends with a lot of other professional musicians like Greg Gaines and David Foster. He did their taxes and stuff like that. So he got this studio. He built the studio where I had this decked out 2 studio rooms with 2 bedrooms upstairs, a freaking movie theater, a freaking green screen room, a freaking white wall room. It was just took a warehouse and turned it into a whole compound.
Wow.
And he owned these apartments that I was living in at the time. And I remember him seeing me loading drums in and out the car. So he was like, "Yo, bro, you know, I see you loading your equipment in and out the car. Do you do music?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "You produce?" I was like, "Kind of, yeah. I'm new to it. I'm a starter, a beginner." So he's like, "Yo, come to my spot, man. I want you to check out something." The guy brought me to this spot, bro, and it was like fancy as fuck. It was amazing. He was like, "Man, you know, I have no one to use this place. If, you know, I'm trying to see if you're interested or whatever." So he put me like on a trial period for like 2 months just to like use the spot. It's my first time working Pro Tools and everything, or even really like having all this equipment, you know, outboard gear, everything. So I'm in there working and everything. Like he was like, "Yo, bro, you know, this is my kind of getaway spot. This is my, you know, tax write-off and place to get away from the wife."
Yeah,
so he gave me the keys. It was like, "Yo, this is your studio." And it was my very first studio when I moved to LA. I had that spot for like 4 years. That's where I really like learned how to
do it.
Yeah, how to start producing and figure things out. So like that was the beginning. And it was great for my band at the time.
For sure.
New Genesis, we needed a place to kind of like cut and figure out, you know, how to be a band and how to do music and everything. So yeah, I've been doing producing for a while. You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't until I would say right before the pandemic, probably like the end of 2017, the beginning of 2018, where I kind of like let all the gigs go. I stopped touring because I have to go back because I actually got signed to Sony with L.A. Reid and Tricky Stewart in 2013.
No way.
Yeah, I had that studio from the guy. I started making music and doing stuff. My partner, his name is Billy West. He also was still working with 3 6 Mafia, Juicy J a lot. So Juicy J took him to L.A. Reid to get him an artist deal. So L.A. Reid was like, "Yo, who did all this music? Who produced this music?" He was like, "Oh man, my boy Stanley Randolph. You know, he has a studio. We sat down and make all this stuff together and whatever." So he was like, "Yo, go get him right now." So like his manager at the time, it had to be like 8:00 at night, came and got me, bro, and was like, "Yo, L.A. Reid wants to sign you right now. He just signed Billy West. He wants to sign you right now and give you a deal to Sony." And I was like, "What?" So, you know, also that was one of the first biggest checks, you know, that I had ever gotten.
Yeah.
You know, tour money was good, but I had never seen a lump sum of money this big at once. So I was like, wow. So I kept producing, and then it was cool, but them calls to tour kept coming in.
Yeah. So
I would go on tour, and then L.A. Reid or Tricky Stewart would hit me up like, "Yo, man, we want to put you in the room with Sierra or 2 Chainz or whatever." And I'd be like, "Man, I'm in Germany, bro." So like I had that opportunity to be producing to go that route, but I was on the drum journey. So
yeah.
that whole deal, you know, did what it did, and I got out of it. And then as I'm getting older, man, it's just like I started seeing, more opportunities for my younger homies that was coming up back home and people that I'm meeting out here. And I'm like, you know what? I don't want to be on the road. I've been on the road for like 10 plus years.
Yeah.
I really love producing, and I want to be home, and I want to be able to like just stay grounded, and the money from producing, bro, from placements and all this other stuff is just different.
Yeah.
So I was very excited about that whole journey. So I pretty much 2018, stopped the whole Christina, stopped the Tony Braxton. New Kids were actually at a point where they were doing track shows. So I was recording their shows in the studio. And they would just pay us off like that, and then they would go on tour.
Send them off.
You know what I'm saying? They would go on tour. So I'm like, it's just already that direction is starting to happen. So I just went with it. So I just let all the gigs go, gave them to my homies, gave them to my friends, and I kept Stevie, of course.
Of course. Do you wish that you, in that L.A. Reid, Tricky Stewart moment, took more advantage of it?
Oh, bro, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's
Is that a lost opportunity, you think?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Because I still made the relationship.
Yeah.
The relationship is still there. I don't talk to Ellie Reid as much, but I talk to Tricky Stewart every now and then. But
Yeah.
the relationship is there, and it just showed me that I can do that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
For
That
sure.
those professionals in that genre, in that world, they saw me good enough to be like, yo, let's sign this guy and let's give
you
him
the confidence. It
you know
was
what I'm saying?
validating.
Exactly. So it's as I'm getting older, and I'm like, I just don't want to do, I don't want to be that guy going to his 40s playing with a 18-year-old artist. You know what I'm saying? Even though the artist might be dope. There is one dope artist I love right now that's young that I've actually did some shows with him, and I will go on tour with him because the vibe is just
Who's
different.
that?
Steve Lacy.
Oh, Steve Lacy.
I did some shows with Steve Lacy.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. Shout out to Rico. Rico Wright. Rico Wright. He put me on that gig.
That's awesome.
I did some stuff with Steve Lacy. And
Steve Lacy's blowing up right now.
Yo,
he's got
his
the Grammy
music
noms.
is a vibe, bro.
Yeah.
His music is a vibe. So, but yeah, other than that, I wanted to do my own thing. You know what I'm saying? All this work as a producer really kind of paid off more once the BBC.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I started off the BBC with Brandon, and we finally started really getting our music out the country to the point where we can go to funk festivals in Amsterdam and Greece and Switzerland. You know what I'm saying? So it just feels better to go do these tours and these shows doing your own shit.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? It's a whole different thing. It's don't get me wrong, I love playing for those artists and everything like that, but it's just like doing your own thing is way more beneficial.
And GAWD is that the main?
Man. Now GAWD, those are my girls, man. That's the new thing.
So this is GAWD.
Yeah, and it's an acronym for Good Ass Women Deserve. They're freaking amazing. Two beautiful women that come from great backgrounds. You have Alana Lindsay, her dad and mom are legends in the game.
Mm-hmm.
They've played with everyone from Stevie, Rick James, Gap Band. The list goes on. The Whispers, like Wayne Lindsay has done a lot.
Oh yeah.
In the music industry, and what's her name? Oh, her mom's name. I can't think of it. Lynn Fitmud. Yeah, she's done a lot in the game too. And then you have Elena Rogers, which her family, she's from Memphis, and her family is legendary in Memphis. And I really believe that they're related to the Staple Singers.
Really?
Yeah, because her mom, what's crazy is her grandma used to be my teacher, my middle school teacher.
No way.
Miss Staples, yo.
That's awesome.
She used to beat my ass, man. She had these rulers.
Really?
The long yard rulers. This is back when, kids could get spanked in school.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? For I was a class clown, man. So she had these rulers and she taped them together, yo. And if you wasn't
Elena's grandma,
bro,
that's so great.
beat my ass.
That's not great.
She would make us stand up at the desk and like, give us a few licks.
She's just
fuck
you, Stanley.
She's a great lady though. She put me on the right path. But yeah, Elena Rogers, she comes from
Elena's gonna be like, that's what you talked about on the show.
I know, right?
You talked about my grandma beating your ass.
Right.
We love you, Elena.
She's in the picture back there.
Elena's on the wall.
She's on the wall for sure, definitely, yeah.
We love Elena.
Right. But yeah, her family is legendary back home. They're all of them are musicians, yo. I grew up playing with some of them. I grew up watching them play. Did gigs with her mom and dad for a few years. So like, there's a connection there for sure. So
that's awesome.
The whole way that they came together, man. We all during the pandemic just wanted to get away from all the pandemic shit that was happening, bro. All the bad news, COVID, people dying, and all that shit. So we went on a trip to Joshua Tree, and we just went out there for like a week, and we did some shrooming. Got on the shroom journey, and it was amazing. It was one of my best shroom trips ever, actually, too. So
Amazing.
And we really wasn't even going out there to play, do any music or nothing. We got an Airbnb to chill. Everybody was in their vibe and relaxing, and we just brought some musical stuff just in case,
Yeah.
because
Inspiration strikes.
you just never know. So I remember like waking up one morning, man, and I'm shrooming, and I'm feeling the vibes come in, and I'm just like, the anxiety started hitting me, and I'm like, man, I got to do something with this energy. I got to do something with this energy. So like me and Brandon just went in the corner. We had a little setup in the corner, We just started making records and making vibes, and the girls, just for fun, they were just like making lyrics and doing stuff. You know what I'm saying? I had my phone recording what was happening, and I remember I took it back to the studio and I listened to what we created, and I was like, whoa, this is some dope shit. So I'm like, I remember hitting them up, and we all came together and discussed it, and I'm like, yo, we can do something with this music, we need to do something with what we got. We created this while we were shrooming. You know what I'm saying? This is some psychedelic, magical vibe. So, yeah, pretty much.
It's really sexy, man.
Yo.
The music is soulful. It's sexy. It's dope. I remember when I first saw it pop up on Instagram, during COVID.
Yeah.
When you guys announced the project, I was like, this is something. It's really good.
And they've been very successful, man. Like they went on tour recently with Anderson .Paak and the Red Hot Chili Peppers. They did that tour. They just opened up, had their own open up slot for Duckworth, which is another dope artist. You know what I'm saying? They went to Europe and everything with Duckworth and did their. So, and we also had a few label situations on the table, you know what I'm saying, that we're experimenting with right now, which is like, and it's all happening so fast for them. They're only 2 years old as a group, so.
Well, because it's their, they're also both like, first of all, the two of them are highly trained, experienced professionals.
Definitely.
They've done how many hundreds, thousands of shows on tour with all these different artists. They've grown up in it. So I think, it's only 2 years old as a project, but they are so developed.
Oh, definitely.
And they're working with you and everything. It's like so I think that's why everything's coming fast for them, because it's like when a thing is there,
it's there.
It's there already. Like my first glimpse of it, I was like, oh, this spikes my interest. This is great.
Definitely.
And I'm a harsh critic, and it's hard to keep my attention.
For sure.
And I remember I was just like instantly like, yeah, this is a dope project.
Yeah, man. So
I support it. We should have them play at a jam. We should
definitely,
we should
bro.
do something with the girls. Yeah,
they're dropping their first EP album at the end of the month. I forgot what day. It might be the 29th.
End of January.
Yeah, end of January. So that's exciting. So we actually
I should have them on the show.
Definitely, bro.
Yeah,
I have a session with them later on tonight. We're finishing up the little small finishing touches on the first EP.
Sick.
And I'm more excited for the second EP because the music has just been flowing.
Yeah. Send me some. I want to hear it.
I got you, bro. I got you, bro. And it's just been flowing. One of my other artists, she's a Latin artist. Her name is Polios, but she's an amazing producer as well. So working with her, she has been helping me create these really dope vibes for the girls.
Nice.
And the girls come up with these lyrics and melodies like it's water, bro, like butter and water. It just happens, bro. So the second project is what I'm really excited about.
Yeah.
The first project is like an introduction, in my opinion. But the second project is going to be the shit. That's like, I'm stamping that.
That's
going to be the shit for sure. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm loving what's happening with GAWD right now.
Because there's a couple songs out right now, right?
Yeah, there's a few songs. We probably got like 3 or 4 records out right now.
Yeah. What's the main one everyone should check out? What you would say if they were to listen to one song?
The main song that, in my opinion, that really got people's attention was the song we did called Wink.
Wink.
Yeah, Wink. You check out Wink, you know what I'm saying? And also another great one is Wayside, but Wink is like one of my favorites for sure. Yeah. So yeah,
just putting it in the playlist.
Yeah, look out for GAWD.
Look out for GAWD. I love it. I love the name.
Yeah.
I love the aesthetic. I love the sound. Like that's why it's happening. Because it's like,
man.
Oh, this makes sense.
It's still all in the. It's still all in the umbrella. You know what I'm saying? All of us have worked together on multiple different gigs. You know what I'm saying? So it's really a family for sure. And there's no ego. That's the one thing I love about it the most. Is there's no ego. Yeah. It's easy for us to talk. Easy for us to work. You know what I'm saying? Everybody is equal. Everybody gives whatever ideas a shot. You know, you give them a chance, and we figure it out. So I think that's why the music is coming out so great.
Okay, a couple of last questions for you.
Yeah.
What makes you go?
What makes me go?
Yeah. How do you stay
Man.
inspired? How do you keep going?
Honestly, all this talent, bro, because I am so into production right now. All of the new artists and the talent and everything, yo, that's coming out right now. Just seeing the success of new artists and new people, bro, inspires me daily.
Yeah.
You know, being on social media and watching and discovering a new artist, bro, when they were like, you know, right here at this level, and then watching them grow. And because I've been in it, I've done it myself as a person. So to see other people doing it as well, it inspires me daily. It keeps me going, you know.
Amazing.
And honestly, I don't know anything else besides music and what I do, bro. It's like I was born into this shit, and I've been here my whole life. This is what I do. So it's a motivational thing for me every day to wake up and just to discover something new music. You know what I'm saying? I remember when I first discovered Crumbin'. Bro, blew my freaking mind away.
It's a vibe.
You know what I'm saying? And I finally just like really, you know, got cool with the drummer from that group. You know, finally connected with him on social media. But I remember when I first discovered them, I was trying to like get their attention, bro. I wanted to give him the biggest props. Hopefully I can do it right now. He has the biggest props ever because it blew my mind, even as a producer, bro, to see a person dynamically, you know, play the drums or even produce, because he's a great producer as well. Yeah. You know, to produce that, bro, and how it feels and how it comes out on the record, bro, it blows my mind.
Is the drummer the producer?
He's nice. I think he's like he has a big part in what's going on with the music.
That's awesome.
But yeah, I love, and even like their whole story, bro. Like the girl bass player, she's not like this flashy licks bass player, bro. Like the guitar player taught her the foundation of playing bass, and she plays the bass, and it's so simple, bro. It feels good as hell.
It feels so good.
It feels good, bro. And I love that the most simple things feel the best. Sometimes when it's like too much shit going on, it's like, you know, it's cloudy. And I kind of you know, use that to gain, you know, to compare with like people's personality. You know, like the way you play is kind of like the way you are as a person, probably. You know, so. Yeah, just to hear their music. I mean, when I discovered them, it was amazing. But yeah, that's my motivation every day. I look for new shit to listen to.
I love it, dude.
Yeah.
Well, Stanley, thanks for coming, bro.
Thank you for having me, man.
Always good hanging with you.
Stanley and Stanley White.
Yeah, we had Stanley White and Stanley Randolph join us tonight.
For sure.
2-for-1 episode.
2 for 1.
Appreciate it, man.
Thank you.
Everybody listen to GAWD. Everybody follow Stanley.
Yes. Oh, and check out Game Representation for sure.
Oh,
check them out.
Yes, my guy.
My G. Thank you, man.